Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay.
I'm Dawn.
And today we are taking a look at Transformers Legacy Motormaster. And I know, this is a toy that everybody has been talking about. Everybody's been eagerly anticipating. Some people more than most. Not as excited for it.
No.
But nonetheless, here he is in his vehicle mode, and Motormaster. I mean, I'm just gonna say that I feel like this vehicle mode looks great. He's got a big husky trailer. It's a little bit short, but it's big.
It's not a 53-foot trailer.
They
make shorter trailers.
They do.
That's a 48. That's probably a 48-foot. So he's got his pup trailer on.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. You know, like I'm digging the trailer. It's very solid. It's heavy. There's no doors or anything. Like, you're not gonna open it up and put stuff inside. But that's okay because this trailer does a lot of stuff. We also have the cab of the truck here, and it is a flat front. What would you call? What would give you?
His cab over.
Cab over.
Because the cab is over the engine.
The cab is over the engine. There we go. It's a snub. It's a snub nose.
The windows.
Yes.
The windows,
Yes.
There's the engine and there's the windows.
You just want to use the spudger.
Spudgers are great.
But this is really the first Motormaster that we've gotten since Gen 1 that actually looks like the truck from the cartoon.
Yeah. This is definitely a wonderful homage to, not even I mean this is
a reinterpretation.
Yeah, I mean basically we got the Motormaster we always wanted in some respects.
Right, because the original Motormaster was dinky. He was
dinky. Yeah.
He was about the size. He was almost the same size as Road Ranger, the GoBot. And I'm not talking about a super GoBot. I'm talking like just a regular GoBot that, when he was in robot mode, was like 3.5 inches tall. But he turned into a, what's the proper name?
It was a step deck.
A step deck
Not
truck.
a flatbed.
A step deck. Which very cool, by the way, very, very cool. But yeah, he had his trailer. There was a joint in the middle, and he, like Gen 1 Motormaster, the trailer and the cab were all one part that turned into a single robot, which is something that, you know, we saw Optimus Prime, and we got used to the idea that the cab is the robot and the trailer is a separate piece. Ultra Magnus, cab is the robot, trailer turns into armor, you combine them.
But Motormaster came out before we saw the Prime.
Or the Ultra Magnus.
The Ultra Magnus.
But nonetheless, so what they've done here is they've kind of split the difference. We've gone to sort of an Optimus Prime-ish type design
afterwards, it's, you know, since you want big truck, yes, and the landing gear.
And you do. They give them landing gear. Not very good landing gear.
I just said landing gear. I did. Yeah, I'm not. Those are. Hey, at least you got them. At least it can do that.
It can do it. It's
pretty easy to just.
Yeah. It does that. You really have to have it perfectly set and gently set it down.
Yeah,
because
they're way too loose.
It just takes.
What's weird is they're way too loose, but they're such a pain to get out. Like, when they're clicked in place, they're in there solid.
You know, I'm not even trying to do it at this point. Like, the first couple times, I was doing it just to demonstrate.
It's too bad your wife isn't here. She can start playing the Curb Your Enthusiasm music. And bump, 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 bump,
bump, bump. Okay, so there we go. So it does hold itself up if you're really cautious about it. Let's just move that out of the way. We'll get to the trailer a little bit more in just a moment, but I wanted to talk about Motormaster himself, the truck portion. This is a nice truck.
It's a very nice truck.
Like, yeah, it's sparing on the paint details, but what they did is effective.
I don't think it has the paint details where they need to be. You know,
I like the purple windows.
Purple windows.
I think that nice. I would have preferred like purple acrylic rather than just painted windows, but they're still nice. I mean, it looks good. I've always loved the purple, like the second row of windows on top. That's just cool. I would have liked a little bit of, either yellow or silver on the headlights here. You know, that would have been nice. They didn't do it, and it doesn't destroy.
He doesn't like headlights.
Yeah.
Who needs to see at night? I'm just running you over. I'm a Stunticon.
Yeah, you know what? I'll accept that. I think that's valid. He's got some white here in the back, and then some purple there, and most importantly, they painted the hubcaps, and I appreciate that. It really does make the wheels look so much better than, say, Dragstrip here, who's got exposed mushroom plugs, mushroom pegs. I mean, it's fine. I'm not gonna complain too much about it, but these wheels just look so much better than these wheels. So he rolls. He looks good from every angle. I mean, you've got some robot chest here, but it doesn't even really look bad. It just
because they're sparing paint details. It doesn't pop out and smack you around a bit.
Right, and it's not the same as, say, Power the Prime's Optimus Prime that had a pair of arms just kind of hanging out there for no particular reason. It doesn't destroy the visage of the truck. It's just something that's not quite what normally goes in the back of a tractor trailer. The rest of them, this section looks great. In fact, this is something that you don't see very often. Usually with Transformers trucks, this is all solid because they're using it for robot legs and stuff like that. But really, this is more realistic. Usually you have the chassis, and then you've got the wheels and the trailer connection bits. But it's actually kind of open there where the chassis is exposed, and that's what they've got here. So I actually think that it makes it look like a more realistic truck. I like it. Also, they've got really nice panel seams here. Everything just kind of snaps in together. Is it perfect? No, it's not. It's not perfect, but it's very, very close. And you can kind of massage these things to try and get the panels, but again, they fit together very nicely, and the truck as a whole, it looks like a truck. Yeah, I guess that's the bottom line is, does it look like a truck? It looks like a truck. There's a truck that looks like a truck. All the trucks that look like a truck, this is one of them. But since it is a truck that looks like a truck, we want to turn it into a robot that looks like a truck or something. So let's go ahead and let's transform him. And to start off with, I want to release some of these panels. So let's pull these out from the back. You see these panels here. We've also got some panels on the side here that just kind of pull away. And you can even see that the whole body is going to just pull out here. We've got the body of the robot right here, and the waist here, and the hips here. We also need, so let's pivot it back so that we can get under here and pop these up, because those need to come forward. And then they are just going to go against the front. There's a little tab right here, and it tabs in to the slot, which, just kind of fits the design of the truck. I mean, it's an obvious slot, but because of the way they framed it out, they just sort of made it look like a mechanical part of the truck, so I don't mind it. We're going to split the legs. we can take these panels here and just close this here and give it a squeeze. Make sure that that's nice and flat there, and do the same thing on the other side. Give that a squeeze, and then let's go ahead and do the feet. So we've got a whole bunch of panel stuff happening here. We want to take the wheel and fold it underneath. We want to tilt the foot right at that ankle joint that we all love so much, and then rotate the foot 180 degrees, and then we can do that. Now we can take this little panel. This is almost like it almost seems like it would be a door, but the door would actually be here. You close the door and give it a little bit of a squeeze so that it's nice and flat. And then this can close against the back of the leg. And then we have this panel here. There is a tab right here that's going to go into the little slot right there, and that is going to close just like that. So we have a leg, and that's pretty cool. Let's do the same stuff over here. Once again, we're going to fold the wheel underneath. We're going to tilt the ankle. We're going to rotate the foot around and expose the miniature truck face that's on the front of the foot, which is kind of a comical detail, but you know,
including the 3 wheels on the side of
yes,
it when it's exposed.
They even molded in little wheels there, just to make him look like his Gen 1 incarnation. So the big truck now has a little truck in his feet. And then we're going to take this side panel that's on his leg. We're going to fold it around here and just give that a little bit of a squeeze. And then we're going to close that behind his leg. We're going to take this panel here. It's going to pivot down like that, and then fold in there, tab in, and now we have 2 robot legs. We can straighten those out, and we have robot legs, and that's good. We even have, let's go ahead and adjust the camera just a little bit. There we go. And we have a robot body here. We need to do the arms. So let's, the arms are actually tabbed in to these little slots here. So, and they're, at least on mine, they're really solid. So you pull them down towards where the bottom of the truck would have been and out. So once again, I'm just going to pull them down. And you see, I just kind of gave it a little bit of a twist there and got the arm out of the way. And now you take the shoulders and you're going to close those down, let them snap in. There's a little tab and a slot there. And then we can open the little door on the underside of the arm, and we will flip out the fist right there. Close the door, and we have an arm. Let's do the same stuff on the other side. So we are going to press this down, click it in. It clicks very nicely. We're going to open the little door. We're going to expose the fist. There we go. He's very clicky. And now we can take the whole trailer end here, the wheels. And this is one part that I don't like because it always, like, it seems like I have to force it too much. Okay, you have to, I'm pressing here and pulling this up, and it does that. And I don't like it. You know, like, it just seems like it's very thin. And the way that the amount of force that I have to use to get it to disengage, I just feel like sooner or later I'm going to end up breaking it. But this goes all the way around and goes against his back. And now we can rotate the head around to face forward. And that gives us Motormaster in his robot mode. And you can put him into cool poses. And he looks like that. And that is Motormaster in all of his glory. Let me see if I can, let's go back like that. Yeah, there. All right, so there is Motormaster in all of his glory. And my first impressions are that he's actually a really, really nice version of Motormaster. You know, his face is, boy, he's white and black and dark purple. And getting the camera to want to look at that and show all the detail is a little bit tricky, but we're going to do it. So let's get in a little bit closer.
You want to try to turn the ring light on? I mean,
yeah.
How much black? Well, I mean, his arms could wash out.
His arms are going to wash out, but yeah, I think that we're going to turn the ring light, and I'm just going to adjust the height a little bit on the camera. There we go. So yeah, let's go ahead and turn on the ring light, and there you can see, and the paint on his face is gorgeous. Like that looks really good. His face is shiny. It is smooth. It is motor mastery. He looks awesome. He can rotate his head. Now he can nod he can go back and forth. He can say no. He's not a yes man. He is definitely not a yes man. I think that the camera's having a little bit of trouble being focused that close. There we go. All right. So he has to kind of bob his whole body if he wants to say yes. So he only says no. Yeah, as I mentioned, the arms being white are washing out. So here, I'll turn off the ring light to show you the arms, and you can see that the arms are they are nice. They look nice. They feel pretty solid. They've got a shoulder joint here which goes out. It also rotates up and down all around. We've got a bicep rotation. We've got elbow joint. We've got fist rotation. So his hand does rotate. His hand doesn't open or close. It's just a fist. That's normal, but I do like it when you can open the fists. So let's turn on the ring light once again so that you can see the details on his great looking chest. I mean, the body on this guy is just really solid. He feels like he's substantial. He doesn't feel hollow like we've seen with a lot of the toys over the last several lines. He is just very tight and rigidly built. I really love the gray detail around the perimeters of the body, with everything else being black except for a couple pops of purple. That looks really good. He of course has waist rotation. His thighs do thigh things. His hips go out. He can do the high kick. He can do no kick. He can do the forward kick, and he can do the back kick. So he's got a lot of movement right here. The camera doesn't want to show any of it to you. What is it focusing on? Like, absolutely nothing in that frame is in focus. There we go. Okay, so we've got the kicks. There's the kicks.
He can also give you the big boot, because he's got some major.
He's got
some booties.
He's got big boots. The big boots to me look great.
Oh, they do. These boots were made for stomping.
These boots were made for stomping. He's got a double joint at the knee, which means that he can really get a lot of movement on that leg. He's even got a thigh rotation here, and of course we've already told you about the ankle twist, and you can actually even pivot the toe. I don't know why you'd want to. It's part of the transformation, but you can. So we've got a lot of excellent articulation on Motormaster in his robot mode. So that is really cool. He also looks like his cartoon likeness, except a more detailed and more mechanically sound version of what we saw in the Gen 1 cartoon. Once again, they put little trucks on his feet.
Because in the original toy, the cab was his feet.
Right.
I hated the original toy.
The original toy was disappointing.
Yeah,
it was
the head was just a flat mask. The
Menasaur head.
The Menasaur. Well, but the point is, the face was just in the back of the truck. It was just a square. He was just.
And what I didn't understand was you had the aerial bots where Silverbolt is this Concorde style jet, which admittedly is a huge jet.
It's long.
It's long.
It wasn't as chunky.
But
yeah,
it was. But being somebody who doesn't really see a lot of Concorde jets,
right?
It just seemed out of scale and out of proportion with the other aerial bots, and then they were just these little fighters. And what was really bad is he was a super tall robot, and then you had these little dinky aerial bots. So his super mode was only this much taller than Silverbolt would stand normally. And then on Motormaster in Gen 1, you had a tractor trailer that we're, like even as kids, we are cognizant of the difference in size between a tractor trailer and a car. And they made Motormaster that big. And he was dinky in comparison to...
The cab of Motormaster was smaller than Huffer.
Yeah, that's just sad.
Yeah,
that is just
Motormaster should not be smaller than Huffer.
No,
I mean,
and everybody wanted to do that.
He should be taking these big booties and stomping all over Huffer.
Yes,
Huffer
exactly.
deserves to be stomped upon.
Hey, the latest Huffer was really good.
Yeah, but he still deserves to be stomped upon.
He got to carry Prime's trailer once.
It's his claim to fame.
That is his claim to fame.
I'll carry it for you, Prime, because I'm lame. I'm pulling the head out. It comes on the front of the chest, isn't it?
It is. Well, no. Actually, it's back here.
Oh, it's back there.
It's back there.
I wanted the
there.
This is great. This is great. You'll love this.
We're doing big head mode. Spoiler alert.
No. It's not big head.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler.
Till all are broken.
You're not supposed to break my toys.
They're not supposed to
Don't break my toys.
It popped apart. So.
Here we go.
Does it wrap around?
I don't know. Here, you want me to complete it? Because
Yeah.
I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going with this, but
the head does not fit through the gap.
So you have to.
Nope, the Menasaur head does not fit through the gap. So you could do this. Here's big head mode.
It's not big head mode.
It's big head mode.
No. You know what this is? This is Menasaur.
Minisaur?
Because Menasaur. It's
Minisaur.
Menasaur. See that? Menasaur. Menasaur.
Wow. We wasted like 5 minutes of this video to get Minisaur. So
Menasaur.
Menasaur. So alright, so I'm just going to undo that. Because
you, internet, you know it's gold. Watch the views skyrocket on that. They'll go from 10 to 15.
If
that's a 50% increase.
If you, the internet, love Menasaur, let us know in the comments.
Menasaur, yes.
Menasaur. All right, so we've got Motormaster, and he looks great. He does look great, and the articulation is great. This is a great figure, and personally, I like that they've managed to find a way to deal with the scale problems of having a guy that's known for being a whole tractor trailer, but also, small. So I like this.
Yeah, I mean, for Combiner Wars, he is not that much bigger than, he is bigger than the other Stunticons, but not terribly.
But yeah, he doesn't tower over them.
He doesn't tower over them, but that's because of the trailer.
Now we can just pull out. We've got Combiner Wars Menasaur or Motormaster here. He did not have a trailer, And he is a retool of Optimus Prime, or Optimus Prime is a retool of him.
I think more Optimus Prime was a retool of him because the Stunticons were the first ones to come out in Combiner Wars.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
But they were released in staggers, so I forget when Motormaster came out. I know, like, for a while,
The point
you
being
just saw the limbs.
They are retools of each other.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, like, there's very, very little difference between this toy and Combiner Wars Optimus Prime, except for, you know, the aesthetics. You know, they molded a different chest and a different head, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is just straight up the exact same geometry done in different colors. I modded mine so that the weapons could go on the smokestacks, because you're supposed to stick these things together like this, I guess, and or maybe like this. You do that, and then you kind of stick them back here, and then he can,
because you know you see,
he can fire in reverse. He can shoot at the Autobots that are chasing him, which you know, I mean, that's fine, but he doesn't have to worry about pulling a trailer because he didn't have a trailer. But yeah, this one thing that I let me just say this: I like this toy. Okay, I do not. Yeah, I don't want to throw a lot of shade on this toy, but it's very gray. Motormaster was, you know, like, the cab was black and his robot mode was black. He was a black, dark purple. He was mean, and see, this one is more silvery and purple, and I feel like black would have been nice. And maybe they didn't want to get it confused with a Nemesis Prime.
Well, because, yeah, you're retooling it for Optimus Prime later. If that's black, is it Motormaster or is it Nemesis Prime?
Yeah, I feel like the difference is in the color of the windows. Nemesis Prime is red. So, yeah, there you go. So, and honestly, there would be enough differences in the rest of the sculpt, like the chest sculpt and the head sculpt, between, you know, if you recolored Optimus Prime to be Nemesis Prime, which I don't think they did anyway.
Surprisingly. You could have done a Nemesis Prime, and oh, by the way, he can just combine with any other limbs. Don't make other ones for him. Just make another center and say, buy more of them. Make them limbs. More shade at Cyclonus.
Yes. So yeah, this is the Combiner Wars Motormaster, and let's go ahead and turn him into a robot so that we can compare the robot modes. And I'm not walking you through it. I would, if this were a video about this toy, then I would. But since this is just for comparison's sake, I'm just doing it real quick here. And
not quick enough.
Shut up.
Filling for time.
There we go. All right. So this is, and then we can give him his gun. He's got a gun.
He's got a gun.
And he's got a sword.
Motormaster's got a gun.
So there is Combiner Wars Motormaster. Let's put him next to regular, or our Legacy Motormaster. And I will say that, let's back up on these guys. There we go. Right like that. And change the thing. Okay, there we go. Oh, let me turn off the ring light. So, all right. So, and maybe increase the aperture, or the, not the aperture. Yeah, here, we'll go here, and then we'll go there, and we'll go there, and we'll go blip. And maybe another blip. There we go. So, Combiner Wars Motormaster is husky. Like, he's a brawler. He is. Got big, thick arms, and you know, I like that the head is very similar. Mm-hmm. I definitely like the colors on Legacy Motormaster better.
I see Combiner Wars Motormaster, and I think that is what animated Motormaster kind of would have been if they would have gotten to combiners in
Transformers animated.
He has more of an animated.
He does have more
style and look. It almost feels like it could be, you know, Megatron in Optimus Prime mode. He's got that kind of gray, more husky.
Yeah.
Like you said, they just gave a different chest, different head. Optimus Prime.
But I feel like Legacy Motormaster is just a better looking toy.
Other than he seems to be leaning. Is there something wrong with his foot when you sit him? He was on a little bit of a lean.
I think that the camera's leaning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't want to like bob the camera around and make everybody nauseous, but yeah, I feel like especially if it's important to you, like if you are a fan of the Gen 1 Transformers series and you always saw Motormaster in the cartoon and wished that there was a toy that really looked like that, Legacy Motormaster is the one for you. Mm-hmm. I think that Combiner Wars Motormaster is a perfectly acceptable incarnation of the character, and he's fun and he's playable. But I think that overall, I just like the aesthetics of the new one better. So that's a little bit of that. Of course, there's also a trailer. We have a trailer here, and I'm going to attempt to show some of what this trailer does. So first of all, unlike an Optimus Prime trailer, at least a typical Optimus Prime trailer, this is not all one piece. This is many pieces, and a big part of that is because the trailer is an important part of the combined form. We'll get to it. I can see the wheels turning. So no. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull things apart. We have the front section here, which has the sword. So if you want Motormaster to have his sword, or Menasaur have his sword.
Menasaur.
So now he has his sword, and then we have the back section, which goes like that, and goes like that, and goes
parts formers.
Like that. So we've got this midsection, which like the trailer is all parts forming. So if you are allergic to parts forming, then you're going to hate this. I don't have a problem with it in this case.
In this case, because he's part of a combining team,
I feel like parts forming when it's used for armor is acceptable. It's like the original Ultra Magnus. The trailer pretty much just transformed into a body, and then you added a mask to the figure, but it really wasn't a parts former for the most part. But subsequent trailer toys have been very parts forming.
You look at Ultra Magnus, Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom, two or three. They used the heck out of that Ultra Magnus mold, and it's all parts forming for the trailer.
Yes,
and it will not hold a car.
Right.
Because he's a car carrier. Why would you want it to be able to hold a car?
I'm feeling you, dude. I am feeling you. So you have this center section, and it's got this gun here, and you can tilt that up, and then you can put the whole thing here, and you have a mounted gun thing, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to just set that over here, and hopefully I'm going to be able to put this on the camera and get it to show up. That's the goal. So we've got these things, the legs, and let's see, the legs do a thing. There's a thing that happens. I think that I need the arms first. I haven't done the base mode a whole bunch of times. So here, wait. You know what? I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna go to the internet view, and I am going to pull up a picture of Motormaster.
Why don't you grab the box?
Oh, I guess I could grab the box.
You do have the box. You didn't even show the packaging.
I didn't even show. We have the packaging. It looks like this, and it looks like that, and it looks like that, and actually that looks freaking awesome. Like that's great. And then we've got that, and we've got that stuff there, and then we've got that. So yeah, let's go ahead. So we've got. Are you working on the legs parts?
Well, okay, so like the legs part, right? So it shows in the picture. You're gonna
hold it up to the camera.
So you got like this is gonna come out, and that, and then this thing is gonna stand up.
Yes, that's correct.
And yeah, and so it just basically you use this is going to be the leg anyways.
So yes, it pretty much turns into a leg,
and you will attach it.
So you take this part, which is very obviously the torso of Menasaur, and this is going to fold around like this.
Oh, you don't actually fold this bit up. That's used for the leg. That's the difference between the transforming this bit from base mode part to leg is that.
That's very good. All right, so let's see. We have these. They have this like this. I believe that the tower thingy goes on here like this. It goes on here like something. Maybe it goes on like this. Oh, okay. Okay, I see it. So, I think that this might go like that, so that it sits flat. Maybe not. No, I think that. Okay, so here we're going to keep that like that, so that we have a nice flat surface here, and then we've got these two tabs here, the ones here and here. They're going to plug into the underside here. Just like this, there, and then that goes like that, and I'm going to set that down right there, and then I need to take the arms, and the arms do a goofy thing. Yes, we're looking at the box.
Yeah.
Because it's. Thank you.
So I think they flatten out.
I believe that this folds like this, and that goes like that. Okay, so I think that you turn the arms pretty much like, these are Menasaur arms, or at least the framework for the Menasaur arms, and they're going to go like this, and then they're going to plug in. Yes, they plug in, so there's a hole on the underside here. And it goes somewhere. It goes in here somehow. Let's see. Come on, you can do it. Why is it so hard?
I think the fist, or is the fist? No. Okay, wait, let me take a look at it. Saturday.
I should have practiced this.
Okay, there is a.
Now notice that there's different hole patterns here, so that's weird. That's weird. All right.
There.
Oh, you got it? You got it. Excellent. That's good. So yeah, so that goes on like that. Very good, by the way. So that just plugs into the hole there. And then this plugs in right there again. And then this one is, so you've got this peg right here. That's going to go into the hole right there. And, here, this goes like that.
Yeah, it's got a double joint. You were bending it. You had it bent at the wrong joint.
So this is just going to connect on like that. So now let's go ahead and change our camera views so that we can add the rest of the pieces. So here we go. We've got the thing, and then
the feet just look like the little nubs on the end of the toes. They're plugs there. They're
Yes,
ports.
they just kind
They
of
just
plug
plug
in
in.
there and there. And now we take Motormaster. Let's put him right here, and you can have him hold on to the thing, the handle of the gun right here. There we go. And have him looking into the viewfinder and be like, I'm gonna kill some Autobots by shooting them in the face. And that, because that's like a Motor Mastery thing to say, right? I don't like Autobots. I'm gonna shoot them with my big gun. And so there you go. That is the base mode for Motormaster. And as base modes go, I mean, I actually like it. I actually like it.
I've seen worse.
I've seen worse. I've seen better. I've seen worse. One thing that I like.
Nobody really cares about that. Like,
you can do that. You can take your Stunticons and you can park them in their little cubbies. They got cubbies. Cubbies are nice. I like cubbies. Who doesn't like cubbies? And we can also see your crotch. Like, your crotch is right here, right there in the video.
The spudger?
So, where's your spudger? You had a spudger. There, you're.
Is that better? I mean,
that
you've only got so much room in this studio, and I have to straddle a freaking computer. So
I know.
I'm doing the best I can here.
No, you know what? You're fine. So that's his base mode. But honestly, the truth is that nobody cares about the base mode. It's nice that they came up with a base mode, but I feel like the base mode is a bit of an afterthought.
It's better than the original.
It is better than the original.
Well, first of all, Motormaster is not the base mode.
Right. And Motormaster is not the base mode because Motormaster is still... Boy, he really holds on to that gun.
No, I will not let go.
There. So Motormaster is separate from the base, and I like that.
That's great.
But okay, so what we really want to talk about is Menasaur. The combined mode of Menasaur. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gun tower apart. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Okay, so first of all, we do need to transform Motormaster. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something that is something that only I do. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to do it. I am going to transform him into Motormaster with his battle armor. So on the back of the box, it just says Menasaur, and it shows him combined with his trailer bits as he would be with, when transformed as Menasaur. And I disapprove. Because without the other Stunticons, it's not Menasaur, it's just Motormaster. He's not changing his identity. He's not a different guy. He's just Motormaster. So he shouldn't, you shouldn't have that's missing all of the combiner guys and calling him Menasaur. He's not Menasaur yet.
No, he needs his gap fillers.
We'll get there. Okay.
I know we'll get there, but
obviously, so Dawn does not like that Menasaur is pretty much in this design.
Look at. I can't get the box and that.
There.
Just.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to split these side panels away from the side of the body and have his arms go back and plug into the tractor trailer back end. Then you're going to take the legs, and the legs are going to do a thing. All right, so we're going to swivel at the waist like that, and that makes the front of the legs go back here, or actually no, that's actually correct. So All right. So we have this. We're going to take these little panels, these kneecap things, and we're going to disengage them and move them out of the way. We're going to take the feet and we're going to fold them down here. We're going to take the whole leg and see his leg has a double jointed hinge in here. So we're actually going to kind of tuck this in here together. You know, it'd probably help to open the little door back here and get his leg in there and then close the door. And now this whole thing, you see this little tab that's right here. There is a tab right there. There, you see it. So the tab's right there, and it's going to go into a little slot that's on the side of his body here, and you're going to snap that in, and it's going to make a very satisfying click. Come on, make this satisfying. Ah, there it is. Huh? I did not lie. So let's go ahead and do the same thing over here. We're going to open the little door. Open the door on the back of the leg. Tuck the thigh in at that double joint, close the door, fold the whole leg up against his side, make the satisfying click. Oh, you found your spudger?
Yeah, I lost my spudger. The box knocked it off.
Ah, okay.
I was looking for it earlier.
Fold the foot down, and then we take the kneecaps, and they are going to close over top of the bottom here, which, by the way, the engineering on this is fantastic.
The engineering on Motormaster and a lot of this is really good.
It's just, I mean, that's beautiful. The way that goes together, it fits.
That is, and I will give them credit. When I originally saw what they wanted to do, I really felt that Motormaster was also just completely gap filler. Not completely gap filler.
So we've got this piece. This is very obviously Menasaur's chest and lower torso. So we're going to swivel at the Menasaur waist. We're going to open this little plastic panel here, and then we're going to slide this in here. Now, notice what I've done is I've kept Motormaster's head. And you might think, well, that's silly, Clay. It's a tiny head. But when I do Motormaster without any Stunticons, he's still Motormaster. He's not Menasaur, he's just Motormaster. He does not change his identity. No personalities are merging. I know I'm having a geek rant, but you know, nonetheless. So
and he has problems with my issues with this thing.
So you fold this little plastic tab up, and that really locks him in, and then you take these pieces and you just snap them up against the shoulders like that, and that makes a pretty husky Menasaur body. Now, or in this case, Motormaster in his power armor. So we take the foot. Now I'm going to leave the foot like this because it's got this big open area, and when you put Stunticons in here, it causes this to close up and you know, fill that open space. But since we don't have any Stunticons that we're putting in there, then I'm just going to leave this here so that it reduces the amount of openness there. And I'm going to, let's see, wait here, let me make sure that, okay, so this leg goes here, like that, and then this leg goes here, like that, and so we have that. Now we have the arms, which they've got these bits. You're going to pull these out to the side, bring the fist out, and I am looking forward to third-party companies giving us a fist that opens and closes and has articulated fingers. This is just, it's just a big chunky fist. It's a perfectly decent big chunky fist.
For a combiner figure,
it's a really nice fist.
It's a nice fist. I mean, you usually get pretty craptastic fists.
So
especially recently. I mean, sure, you had decent fists that pegged in,
but
they still weren't articulated. They were just a chunk.
Right. So these side panels, they have many little points of articulation there. There's like a little thing there. So I just kind of close that against the side there. I close this against the side there, fold that up. And then I'm going to leave this like this. Okay, I'm not going to extend it out the way they show in the picture. And then he's got a shoulder joint right here, which comes out. And that is going to slide down and connect here. So he's got a little bit of a shorter arm, but also a thicker arm that still has a bend at the elbow. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to take this, I'm going to close this against the side like that. I'm going to pull out that shoulder joint. I'm going to pull this out, flip the fist around, and then fold this. It goes around like this, and then closes up against the side like that. And now I do this. And so here we've got this. This is Motormaster with his power armor, but we're not done yet because they treat this like a separate part that just doesn't go anywhere. That is false. 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 That's right. We're going to dispel a myth. Now, I realize that this is different than his Gen 1 look. I know. We're doing something a little bit different than they did in Gen 1. It's scary. Take this stand, split it like this, take these little things, put them around the back, and then you just plug this right into the hole in the back, and he's got wings. Yeah. It works perfectly. I didn't have to kit bash it. I didn't have to add holes. It just fits on there and gives them actually pretty cool wings. You know, like you can even like bend them out and give them some definition. Like he's got wings. And wings on giant robots are cool. I know Menasaur never had wings, but look at that.
At least the piece is getting used.
The piece is getting used.
As opposed to, oh, well, we wanted it for the base mode, but we couldn't figure out what to do with it.
And personally, like, I feel like this works so well. The fact that they have this very solid mounting point here, and this friction fits on.
You're using, that's the bit that it hooks to in the trailer.
Right.
So you're using the hole it hooks into the trailer.
I understand, but very oftentimes with truck transformers that have a trailer, the peg that fits in is a loose connection, so
it rotates easy. Okay.
Right, this is a rigid connection. I think that the original designers had this in mind, and then somebody at some point said, no, original Menasaur doesn't have wings. So we're just going to leave that part out. I feel like that was a decision that was made just not to document that as a feature. But absolutely, Menasaur gets wing. Well, Motormaster, and you see this? Okay, like these arms, the way that they're thicker, they're articulated, they work as arms. I wish that I could make the legs a little bit shorter. Like, I wish they weren't full length. And I wish that I could, just contrive a way with what's already here to make these legs both shorter and thicker. But other than that, we've got Motormaster combined with his trailer in a way that actually works really well. Your opinion?
It's okay, but
those
legs.
I will agree that
those legs are.
The leg hollowness.
I mean, if you're saying that this is a good step to a power armor for a trailer, yes.
I think that this is perfectly legit as power armor for Motormaster. Of course,
the problem is that's also
most of Menasaur. But see, and this is where let's go ahead and let's go ahead and add, turn him into Menasaur. Let's do that. So,
well, one thing, you've got the arms in the short form, right?
Yes.
So, could you take that one off? There's a neat feature.
And this is where this is magic.
I will give them credit for that. As you said, the arm is short, but will get longer.
Whoa. Okay.
So you take short arm.
Hold it up to the camera.
You don't have it clicked, or you have it locked in place.
Show the camera.
So you have it locked in place.
Camera's over here. So camera right there.
All right, so
this is magic. Like, this to me is absolutely freaking brilliant.
So there are 2 holes down here. They'll go into these 2 pegs. Holes, and then they've got this clip. And then what it does is it will
it attaches on there. Squeeze them together. Give them a good squeeze.
And
okay, and now this is what's cool. So it attaches, and then you continue to transform it. Wait, hold it up to the camera. Watch what happens.
You do it from this point on, because it's your toy and it's stiff.
Okay, so at this point, you're going to open up. Drag strip separates. You bend this around here and click that into place, and bend this around and click that into place, and now you've got a longer and filled out, like this is now a husky arm, and it's longer, and it transforms. So even though he's splitting apart, you don't take him apart and stick bits on.
I will give them absolute credit. That is absolutely cool engineering.
You never actually take him apart. You plug him in, and then his parts transform with the toy, and that is like magic.
That is cool, but still, for a combiner,
And then, of course, you just take this, put it... Well, wait, here, before I do that, let me take Motormaster out and flip his head. He needs a different head.
Again, we come back.
By the way, the sword is important because the sword, unless you've got a spudger, is the only way that you're going to disengage this little tab in the back when you want to take them apart. So you do that, and then we'll open up the chest. Let's see here. Let's disengage these chest flaps here. Now we open that up, and now we pull up Menasaur's head. So Menasaur's head is going to come up like this. And
there's not Menasaur anymore.
You're right. He is going to be Menasaur. Menace. The Phantom Menasaur.
That's just about what he is when you get him. He's Phantom of the Menasaur. So he's pretty much all Menasaur but gaps.
And then there we go. And now he's got the Menasaur head, and we can take our drag strip arm and we can attach that. And then the wheels fold in like that. So that, and let me see. Notice how important that little tab in the back is. It does not want to hold together unless you click that tab up. And then he holds together really, really well. And now we can take, ideally, what you do is then you have the other Stunticons, which will fill in there. When they go in, they're going to cause these things to close up so that you have that. I have seen people who have Dead End. I think Dead End is the next one, either Dead End or Wild Rider, but whichever one is coming next.
Wild Rider. Wild Rider is the one that was released. Should be hitting stores. Dead End they've just talked about, and then
my next one is shipping now, but it'll probably be about a week before I get it. So you get that, and what I've seen them do is they put it on and then they turn the legs around so that the car is in front. I personally don't like it, and
it's one of those things that it's show accurate because Menasaur just had these big gray legs with cars stuck on the back.
Yes, and we can still put.
You can still put the. Honestly, I don't have a problem with the wings.
The wings. Like they solve an obvious problem. I feel like they were meant to go there. Mm-hmm. They just look like they were meant to go there. He looks good with them on. So that's what you would get cars on the backs.
That's the way he was done in the show, and it's another thing I hated about Motormaster in the show was, you got cars on the backs of your legs. They again aren't actually part of the robot because they physically looked like, when they were drawn half the time, cars on the back of his legs.
And that's the thing in the cartoon, they depicted Menasaur as though he was mostly just Motormaster with cars attached to his arms and legs, not becoming arms and legs, just attached.
Which is what you've got out of this, which is what bugs me as a combiner.
But what they've done here is, first of all, I feel like adding the other Stunticons is going to give him the visual weight that he needs to be a dynamic-looking combiner.
It does, but again, it's like...
Because, your big problem with the legs right now is that they don't look complete.
Well, which
they don't.
They only don't look complete from the front because they have this panel that is only there as part of the combining... I mean, you think about it. This panel nowhere in the Transform does this panel need to not be closed.
You're right, but look at it from the side. Like, regardless of whether it's opened or closed, these without the other Stunticons on here, these legs look visually scrawny. And so I think that adding the other Stunticons is really going to make him look great.
Well, I mean, it's one of those like third parties have been doing this for this kind of exoskeleton for the.
I've seen one. I've seen one so far.
There's been I think there was a third party Motormaster that does the same thing. The trailer turns into the exoskeleton.
Yes.
Now Hotspot out of Defensor not only has a hotspot mode but has a exoskeleton mode out of a third party, where the bits come out that you stick the Protectobots on, I think. There's one where the legs they're shells, but they're like ambulance things, and I'm like, oh. Basically, you shove them into a shell to make the leg.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna turn Combiner Wars Motormaster into Menasaur. So we can really make this comparison,
right?
Because what it seems like they did in Combiner Wars, which I think that we were talking about during our drag strip video, is that they tried to fulfill the promise made by the Scramble City Combiners in a way.
Oh, yeah, they totally fulfilled the Scramble City, and I mean, you look at. There's we go back, why do I throw shade at Cyclonus? Because they were like, we didn't make limbs for him. He can just use anything. And that's like the core of, the thing that they never really promoted that much in the media, but it was mentioned that, you could put the limbs any way you want. And although admittedly everybody certain guys made better certain limbs than others.
Sure. And usually it wasn't the guys that they actually used, but like they would make First Aid an arm, but he was very boxy and actually made a much better leg, and I don't know.
I always liked him as an arm. I felt that Groove made a bad leg.
Yeah, Groove should have been an arm.
Or no, I felt Groove made a bad arm. He was okay as a leg because he was just this chunk. He was a motorcycle. He didn't make a great arm. He made a decent leg. And Streetwise, he was a car. He made an arm and a leg just about as equal because he was just a car shoved on as a limb. Either you moved the hood so it hooked onto his leg, or you pulled the post down and you had to,
All right. Yeah, it was. What's his name? Sword. Peach guy. I don't even remember. Peach guy. His name is Peach guy.
The Stunticons, because of the way Motormaster was, they never really, and Menasaur, the fact that Yeah, all the combiners, the Scramble City combiners, almost all of them, the head was just a mask that went over the head. But what really bugged me about Masters was that Menasaur's head...
It wasn't even a helmet. It was just a mask.
It was just literally like, oh, look, it's a Halloween mask I put on.
So this is Combiner Wars Menasaur. And I love this toy. Don't get me wrong. I love this toy. I have spent many hours playing with this toy and recombining it and doing stuff like that. I love the fact that they used the Scout class figures and kind of increased the depth of the teams to enhance the combined forms. I love that they're all deluxe characters with a Voyager class center. I love that the combining pegs are husky and make for decent limbs. Motormaster, his lower torso is not really very solid.
No, it's not. It's
and
wow.
You see that I've got an upgrade kit on his hands and feet because the Combiner Wars feet were just... the arms were passable, but the feet were bad. Just really bad. And once again, they were add-on pieces that didn't integrate into the transforms in a meaningful way. They would kind of make them... They would have a peg on them so you could put it on the roof of the car or something. At least in the case of Drag Strip, they made it an engine that could go on top. But
I have to say that ultimately, you've talked about people put this around this way. That's almost a combiner. That's almost like a Gen 1 foot plate for a foot.
Yeah.
I go, as much as I hate, but I'm like, it was show accurate, That, and I always felt it's kind of lame in the leg, but better than a plate foot.
So here is my defense of what they've done with Menasaur, with the Legacy Menasaur, is that in this, we have a character that did things in the show that just don't work in the real world. We have a guy who's supposed to be a tractor trailer, similar in size to Optimus Prime, so much so that they show them having a head-on collision, and then there's all this dust, and you wonder for a moment, okay, who won? And then Optimus Prime is there, and Motormaster is wrecked. But then the toy was just like that, okay? You couldn't, in a meaningful way, reenact that scene with the toys that you had when you were a kid. This Motormaster looks like a Motormaster that could take on Optimus Prime and stand a chance. So that's one thing. The next thing is, because they've split up the trailer and the robot, now the central figure no longer towers over his teammates.
True.
Which was a common problem of the Scramble City Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing is that in the show, you would see them combine, and you would see Motormaster seemingly magically turn into a giant robot, and then you would have the other Stunticons just kind of attached to his arms and legs, and now he's Menasaur. And so what they've done with this design is, in every way that they could, they have made the magic of the show actually work. Even to the point of there would be times in the show that you would see him and you would see like part of a car up here and part of a car there and a joint there that well, that can't work because the guy would be in two pieces. Now he is. They have made that so that it actually works. And the other thing that you've got with this is that his combine mode is already husky and solid. His joints are tight. I don't have to wonder if when I set him on the table, are his legs going to splay out from underneath him and have him fall over.
You've bought most, 80% Motormaster now.
Yes. That is how they solved it. I agree. That is how they've solved it. But they did solve it. And all of this is part of a Motormaster toy that is still completely playworthy. And, you know, you have a robot with a trailer that becomes a base. Yes, admittedly, the base is a little bit of an afterthought, but a lot of the base modes were
a lot of bases is an afterthought. I'm not going to be like, you know, if the base mode is an afterthought, is your only criticism, that's like going to a Godzilla movie and complaining about the lack of pathos and ethos
in the human characters.
It's a giant robot movie, smash. So, you know, there are things like, look, there's a lot of good engineering in this. And I guess what bugs me is the fact that as a combiner, you can get away with this with Menasaur. How do you do that with Superion?
I'll be interested to find out.
I don't think they can.
You know, I will be interested to
without
find out.
like,
or you know, like,
or Silverbolt
thing.
comes with just a bunch of parts that become a base.
You know what?
Or an airport.
I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe they don't do Superion this way. Maybe you get the Protectobots done this way because that can work. You know, you can absolutely.
Hotspot would be pretty big unless the fire truck separates from the engine.
You could design a fire truck that is a tractor trailer style fire truck.
But now you're getting away from the animation model in the original toy.
That's true.
And the whole thing about this is they try to stick with both.
What they could do is kind of a Optimus Prime approach where the cab is a vehicle in its own, but when it joins with the rest of it, it just looks like a single vehicle.
Could be.
They could do something like that, and they could certainly do the same thing with Onslaught.
Onslaught you can get away with because there was a cab and there was a trailer, and actually it was a cab with, it was kind of like a combat flatbed.
Yes.
That had guns. I mean,
yeah.
Onslaught was a guy that I'm like,
and why is it that Onslaught got to be a decent size, whereas Motormaster was dinky? Like, how did that happen?
Well, remember the Scramble City was half or mostly completed, but was never released as part of the Diaclone because Transformers came out. Most of the designs were already Takara designs.
I understand, but why did Takara do that then? Why was Motormaster this and then Onslaught was substantially bigger and huskier?
Well, Onslaught might have been done later.
I guess maybe they saw what they did with Motormaster and thought, "Oh, let's not do that again."
Instead you made something that's like, we need something.
But
we can't think of a vehicle because I've never seen a combat vehicle that looks like that.
You know, it's just a flatbed truck with anti-aircraft guns.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. It's no more complicated than that. So yeah, I could see them taking this formula and applying it to several of the other teams. Aerial bots, I'm not sure what they would do. Honestly, I don't know what they would do. And maybe they don't do legacy aerial bots. Or
it's hard to say. Well, yeah, because they could. Depends on they could always do them as core class or something. Basically, here's the thing.
Nobody wants a core class combiner.
Who says they're going to do a combiner? They need to basically to keep the trademark. They have to produce toys in a cycle, and we're working on Motormaster. Because of Combiner Wars, you're coming about the same time. And so...
Okay, but that's not really relevant to the conversation in the sense of, like, how do they get this kind of a product? And
it's one of the things that they will do something with them because they're going to be due up for a refresh for the trademark name. What they do is the question.
But I would expect that they would probably do them as some kind of a combiner because you want to get keep the trademark on Superion alive.
Absolutely.
So, nonetheless, personally, my view of Motormaster and subsequently this series of Stunticons is so far very, very good. I was excited for this toy, and I'm not disappointed at this toy. I think that the solutions that they've come up with for how the combined mode actually works and simulates what was on screen 40 years ago is actually freaking brilliant. And the toy that we've gotten to do that is even without the Menasaur mode, it's still a really, really play-worthy toy that looks great, that's fun to transform, that's fun to put into different modes. And I like doing Super Motormaster.
As opposed to Menasaur.
Yeah. I don't do... He's not Menasaur until he's got other Stunticons on him.
Menasaur.
I don't do Menasaur.
Menasaur.
I don't do Menasaur.
Menasaur. Menasaur trademark.
I do not do.
I'm calling dibs on Menasaur.
There's
no Menasaur out there yet. Trademark right now. You've heard it, internet. Trademark on Menasaur. Menasaur.
Yes, we get it.
Come on, internet. Hashtag Menasaur. Menasaur.
At some point, somebody's going to have to explain hashtag to me. I don't get it because I'm old. So, all right.
Okay, how about pound sign?
Yes.
See, okay, there
yes,
you go.
I get pound sign. That's
pound
on
sign.
a phone.
Pound
it's
sign.
a little checkerboard. It's actually a number sign. You know, like
yeah.
I've never understood why they call it a pound sign on a phone when it means number.
I don't know. I forget.
Maybe because they figured if they said the number on the phone, people would be like, "There's 10 numbers on my phone. Which one are they talking about?"
So because, number sign Menasaur.
Number sign. Okay. Number sign Menasaur. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
All right.
See, not everything on the internet has to be stupid and confusing.
Definitely not this video.
All right, so that being the case, that's my review. If you like this video, if you actually sat through this video, then thank you. Thank you.
Should have had a different opening. Long circuits.
Long circuits. So, yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, click the notification bell so that you know when we're doing short circuits videos like this one, or our live stream, or long circuits like this one, which we typically try to release periodically throughout the week. Also, you will be notified when we are having our live streams, which typically happen every Friday night at 8:00 p.m. Eastern United States time. And also, if you're in a position to help the channel grow, consider joining our Patreon. We have different levels with different rewards as our way of saying thank you, because thank you, we really appreciate all the help that we can get, because Motormaster was freaking expensive.
And if you don't want to support the channel, but want to support D&E Collectibles in Pittsburgh,
then
you can use his Patreon, because then that money generally goes to D&E.
It also goes to camera equipment. Yeah.
No, it goes to D&E. We don't want to tell them you're getting new camera equipment because they might support.
You know what? They might want our images to look better.
They haven't seen you in real life.
I look bad enough on camera. So yeah,
empty chair is the best host.
I've heard that. So with all of that being said, speaking of our patrons, we have a very special guest here to thank our patrons. It's the Chaos Bringer himself, Unicron.
Thank you, patrons, our ultimate retro heroes. Thank you, Fetchbeer, Rob S., Matt White, Starhound, Setsune Wave, Dawn, Hope and Michael D., and Colleen. Thank you. Now, I think I'm going to eat Combiner Wars Menasaur. No, I don't need that. I don't need that.
Dinosaur.
I don't need that. Stop it. I don't need that.
So thank you for tormenting the Chaos Bringer.
You're welcome.
when he eats our planet, I blame you. Just so that you know, when that happens, I blame you. Internet, when Unicron eats Earth and everything's getting destroyed, it's his fault. Okay? Hashtag Dawn destroyed the world.
I accept it.
Is that how that number sign Dawn destroyed the world?
That's fine.
Pound sign Dawn destroyed the world.
I accept it. It's kind of like every time I'm obnoxious to all the computer generated voices. You're the reason the robot apocalypse happens, and I'm like, that's fair.
That is fair. So. All right, so that's our review. I'm Clay.
I'm Dawn.
And we're here to say, keep it retro. Come on, do it with me. Retro. Come on, do it with me. Keep it retro. Come on, do it with me. Keep it retro.
Pound sign.
Bot.
Pound sign.
No, it's keep it retro bot. Keep it retro bot. See, that's people want to hear it. They want to hear you say it. They're like, oh, I can't wait to hear him say it. People want to hear you say it.
That's adorable.